All right. We got Lawrence Guy here for the Barbershop Talk. Let's start off. Hey, how is it going, Brother Lawrence?
Shalom, 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 everybody. It's been
and
a
we've got,
it's been a it's been a hot minute.
yes, it has. It has. And we've got the prideful one, the prideful curls in here. What's going on, young fella? It's been a while. Oh,
He's
maybe,
muted.
yeah, he's maybe he can't, maybe he's having some audio issues. But
Hey, y'all. Yeah,
oh,
I
there
was
he
just
is.
coming on. I just wanted to plug his shit in. I didn't want people to hear the whole thing.
Ah,
All
got you,
right.
got you.
Yeah, but it's been a minute. Long time no see. Been a while since I've been on a panel.
Yeah,
Well,
it has been a while, and
look
it's
at
a
here,
different
look at
day.
here.
It's
Yeah.
a different day, different schedule from what I'm used to because well, it has some changes at work. So having to go live on a different day. We got sick, brother Sigma in here. What's going on, bro? Eugenics, bro. But and if you want to get up here, all you gotta do is let me know, and you will get that link. But on the topic
Hey, no,
of
Isaac, you should have said this to Sigma. You like hit my email. I sent you the link.
he knows I hit him. But on the topic of prideful and pride, I guess what did you guys think, and what do you have to add to this conversation? I guess you can start it off, the curly one.
Well, I'll start off like you said. Well, I was just add on to it. Pretty much when they talk about pride, it's always in that negative connotation where it's just this over sense of self worth that's delusional, self aggrandizing type of pride. But then they don't usually like to show the effects of how when you don't have any pride and you're just a fucking pushover to people.
Right, right. It's one of the main things that I notice as well. Um, like they never speak about it in a way of being balanced with it, being balanced between it and just being naive. There's never no balance there between it and the humbleness, which
Yeah, and if
leads
you're
to
skilled
which
at something, right? If you're
right.
skilled at something, wouldn't you take pride in that?
Yeah, yeah. And even like I said, it even in the concept here, when we're talking about religion, you can have pride in the skills and in what God gave you, and what you're being good at. There's nothing wrong for having pride in the purpose that you've been created for and given, and being good at it and being thankful for that. Like I said, the problem is whenever you get so prideful that you become naive to your own shortcomings, or not having any at all, and you're freaking naive and can be led by anyone. Hopefully, we'll have Brother Lawrence here back in a minute. But that was it. Always good
I'm
to have
sorry.
you in here, knowledge.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. I'm
go
back.
ahead. All
No, I'm
right,
sorry. I'm
all right.
back.
Okay, cool.
Please forgive me. I had to step away.
I get it.
Uh, what did I miss?
Oh, just I just asked Curls, his thoughts, from the little short on the monologue for pride and the scriptures over it, and me bringing my presentation about how whenever it's always spoken about it's always spoken about in a negative connotation, not in a positive way ever, where you can have balance, where you can be balanced with it, with the pride. Like it's always spoken away like you can't. Every time it's used, it's always negative. It's never any positive if there's a balance within the pride.
Okay. All right. So with that plus what you had said in the stream about naivety, um, I think, and I agree with you. By the way, let me start off that way. um,
That's fine.
because from what I understand, um, pride is not necessarily a bad thing. It's boastful pride, if I remember correctly. That's the bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, your pride. Um, how can I put this? Your pride is more about your relationship with the Most High and how you follow His law, statutes, and commandments. Um, it's more about standing firm and boasting in that respect, in pride that this is my Elohim, this is my King, and then that's all, and that's it. Um, that's how I look at acceptable pride, for lack of a better terminology, because we saw that, especially with David. I mean,
Yes.
David was a very boastfully pride dude when it came to the Most High. That, as far as he was concerned, that was his boy. You know what I mean? Even the Most High said that himself. David is a man after his own heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
David.
then you
David
got,
had a good pride.
yeah, he did. He absolutely did. And then you saw the opposite end of what that would be when it becomes more along the lines of the boastful thing, which would be his son Solomon. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that could go badly. So yeah,
Right.
I agree with you. I absolutely
Well,
agree with you.
I would even say also being naive as well, because and I think I will say I think part of it was the protectiveness they probably had over Solomon after the loss of the first child. So there becomes a need to want a scene, an what's the word I'm looking for? An unnecessary need to want to protect the next one. But the problem you have with that is you protect them so much that they're unsure of themselves.
Oh
Because
yeah, hmm
every move he made was about amassing all these women, because his fear of having to go to war. I mean, he was not a hardened, uh, surviving king, a fighting, battle ready king like his father was. So he was more of a weaker diplomatic king that just wasn't that was very foolish and naive.
Well, I mean, and please don't laugh at me. This is just an analogy, but David and Solomon is like Star Trek. David is
Mm,
Captain Kirk. Solomon is Captain Picard. You know what I mean? As weird as that sounds.
wow.
One's more. The first one is more of an action person. Go out, go get it, go make it happen by strength and will, and the Most High's, love. While Solomon is more diplomatic, like Picard. Well, he'll talk it through before he has to throw that first punch. And if he can avoid that first punch at all costs, he'll take it. So, and that shows you the difference between pride and it's weird because, like I said, David had boastful pride, but it was in the proper term. He was boastful about his relationship with the Most High and what the
Right.
Most High would do for himself, his family, and for Israel. And in that respect, it was good. But Solomon's pride was more boastful, and what probably why his was more debilitating and devastating because Solomon knew what was expected of him. Because when the Most High spoke directly to him about, I'm the God of your father, yada, yada, yada. And then Solomon told him, I asked for wisdom. So he knew, and then he became more
Yeah.
prideful about the number of wives he had, how rich he was, et cetera, and so on and all that good stuff. So his fall was even greater. That's why you
Yeah.
see in the Song of Solomon and Ecclesiastics and stuff like that, you see him at the tail end of it really starting to understand where he went wrong and reading what he had to say, especially in some of the sections in Proverbs.
Yeah.
Um, because like I said, being boastful is fine. It's how you're boastful. And what now, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Not how you're boastful, it's what you're boastful about. The Most High will always be on your side if you're boasting Him, because as He said, be bold,
Or if what
speak His name. Speak
or
the Lord's
I was gonna say if what you're boasting about yourself is related with him.
right. Exactly. And also you have to take in consideration He has no problem with pride as long as it's done in righteousness. That's a big thing for Him. Now, if your
Right.
pride is just to, now, if your pride is just to be foolish, to talk about yourself, your accomplishments, and et cetera, and so on, oh, He's going to have a problem with that. But if your pride is more along the lines of standing firm in His laws, statutes, and commandments, and telling people point blank, this is not what the Most High says to do. We're not having it. Yada yada yada. Oh, He's got no problem with your pride then, because that's what
Right.
He wants.
right, right. Well, and, you know, so that's where I say, they never talk about that thin line. They never speak about that thin line on it whatsoever because, you know, what Solomon had pride in versus what David had pride in was two very different things.
Right.
Solomon had pride in his ability to get them hoes. Let's be honest. Uh,
Well, I
and he
mean, yeah,
tried to,
yeah, that and other things, but yeah, yeah.
yeah, other things too, yeah. But I mean, that was the main thing because in the end, his pride in that is what foolishly led him down the path of making them hoes his God and abandoning the God that gave him the knowledge and wisdom that he asked for.
Well, okay, that's true, but that was the women weren't his primary. They were his
Okay,
secondary. They weren't because and that's one of the things I don't like about
gotcha.
the current Bibles that are available because there are books that are left out. Actually, the bulk of Solomon's rule were stories and letters written about him and his battle with demons. That was his primary. The chicks became secondary after he completed the first.
Oh no, no, I was talking. Oh, so you're saying his battle with the demons is what led to his fall?
It's the start of it, and
Okay.
I think his pride and arrogance about being able to do that led him to the concept of that he can do anything or whatever he wants because
Ah, I got you now.
because and I'm sorry because I'm gonna go manosphere here. I don't mean to, but I'm just trying to make a point. That's why a lot of the dudes in the manosphere get it wrong about Solomon having 300 wives and 700 concubines. Because what they failed to understand is that even the Most High allowed multiple marriages, sure, but it was within limits. If you look at every other person throughout history in that book, they would have two, maybe three tops, but on average it was two. He never approved anybody with no thousand. So you can tell point blank just by reading the history of how the Most High moves that that's all Solomon's pride. That can't possibly be the Most High.
Well, the funny thing is too that okay, David had I don't know how many, he had several, but the thing was even though he got all those because he conquered, he conquered Saul's kingdom. The thing was that even though he had them, David only treated one as his wife.
He actually, yeah. He only treated one as his wife, and that
Well,
was,
I'll say this too, but the other one, she outed her own self from that role. So,
David's tricky in that respect because there's two
Mhm.
particular stories we're always going to remember about him. One is Bathsheba, and
Yes.
the other one, and I can't remember her name right now or his, but the story where the guy that they were protecting with his cattle and all that good stuff had was disrespectful, and then David was coming down to wipe out the whole and the whole him his servants the whole 9 yards until that guy's wife met him on the road and apologized and brought bread and food and all that good stuff. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I
Oh man.
should. But those are the two very distinct women they talked about when it came to
Other than
David
McCall.
to David. And if I remember correctly, David was with her before he was with Bathsheba. I think I could be
McCall.
wrong.
McCall was before Bathsheba. McCall was the first wife,
Okay,
if I'm
then the
correct.
one that, okay, the other one
Saul's
I'm talking
daughter.
about. That's right. I forgot about her. That's right. What I'm thinking about is not her. I know it's not her because I know the next morning when she told her husband who it was he had disrespected and what was going to happen, he literally died of fright right there in front of her. And I remember David had promised her that he would take care of her. And then once that dude died, David brought him to be one of his women.
Gotcha.
I cannot remember her name. Why can't I remember her name?
Well, it's a vast book, so.
Yeah. Because she said her husband's name, and I know David said something to her, and she said no, his name translates into fool. or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
It's not Gomer.
but
Gomer's the prostitute that was married to Hosea. I'm sorry, man. I'll try and remember it. But right
you
now, go
good?
ahead.
You
What were
good?
you
So
speaking
it doesn't really matter right now. But
on?
what's good, young fella? I guess you ain't unplugged because you in here, buddy.
Hey, Swift. Shalom.
Hey,
Shalom.
yeah, Swill.
But
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 yeah, no, go
but
ahead.
the point I was trying to make is the idea that you're not supposed to have pride is strange to me, and I think and it maybe it be, and I'm saying this as somebody who hasn't been one in a long time because but Christianity has a tendency to want to focus more on the be humble, um live a life of piety and etc and so on, don't speak back, don't fight back, like wait on the Lord and all that good stuff. And I really don't think I really don't think that's what Yahushua meant when he was talking about that. But yeah.
Yes, I would agree. I mean, when you look at all the actions, and how when you look at the chosen people, for instance, how them not having pride in being chosen people uh, by God and being chosen for a better purpose, it led them to naivety, and they became pretty much bastard children with all their actions and inactions.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And I mean, how many times have we seen um the Most High save His people, and then they would swell up so much in pride, thinking that nothing can touch them, that they turn around and started doing opposite of what He asked of them.
Yeah, yeah, and
And not to be funny,
yeah,
but like I told somebody one time when we were talking about it. Well, yeah, He did the thing with Egypt. I said, no, you need to go back. He saved us a couple of times, and he had there was no reason to, because if it was one of us, we would have wiped everybody clean. Let's be honest. let's
yeah,
let's be honest. So
yeah, and Swift, that is true. Yeah, people do only see things in extremes; they can't see all the other sides. I agree,
yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I
but
think the only I think the only time I think the only time black and white should come into play is when you're following the law, statutes, and commandments, because those are spelled out in plain English by the Creator Himself. Everything else after that, I'm with Swift on. You got to move out of the black and white extremities, because, it, like I said, life itself is gray. You know what I mean?
well, and yeah, because when people, it's like even when people, they speak about God, and the God I know, he's not violent. It's only love. What?
Yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah.
I'm,
But
I'm
but
like,
but
go ahead.
no, no, you go, you go. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I mean, every action that you look at that he took and how he told his people, especially certain ones, to move, shows that God is a God of war as well. The planning and thought out, general like movements. People really show how. It's Agon that said it before, that it's a lot of people that read this book and they do more harm than good.
Well, and that's true. But the Most High says in that book itself that those who add to or take away from the word, He has a very special place for them. So it'll be fixed either way.
Yeah, but you a lot of people just don't have any understanding whatsoever. And
Oh no, well, actually, I would slightly disagree with you. I
you
think
would?
they do, and I think they do, and they just don't care, because everybody's so wrapped up in their own their own thing. They refuse to. You know what I mean? I mean,
I, I would say I would say those people are the minority percentage. Actually, I mean,
you
there's
think
a lot
so?
of people that don't care, but the
Yeah, yeah.
people that don't care and are so wrapped up in themselves and only use it solely for their own benefit, I think that's a smaller percentage of people that are actually smart enough to do that.
Huh. I'm gonna have to go with you because I honestly don't know. And to be fair, I never sat long enough to think about it because I really don't want that kind of dirty stuff in my head. So
I got you. I'm telling you, that book that Sigma and I read, we did our whole, we did a whole review on it on his channel. You know, the basic laws of human stupidity. You know, it really opened my eyes up to the fact that, you know, there's a large percentage of just stupid people that we don't want to recognize that are.
You know what I came. You know what I came away from that stream.
No
what
telling.
I walked away with is like, okay, so Eisen and Sigma are still talking to me, so I guess I don't fall in any of those categories. I'm good.
Well, there you go.
That's how I took it. That's how I took it because I was like, some of that stuff, I was like, okay, I gotta let this person go, and let that person go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a good review. It really was. It was a really good review. But like I said, it's like a conversation I was having with someone a couple of days ago. Just looking at us as a people, so to speak, and I use that term loosely. Look, just call the dudes Solomonites. They call the women they call the women the Jezebelites. I mean, that's all I got, man. That's I mean, I don't know what else to do. Because like I said, all of them are literally working from a place of pride. And that's why pride is so dangerous, because pride puts you in that same spot that Swift was talking about. You only see black and white. You don't see the nuances. You know what I mean? And then you find yourself literally locked in a corner or a box that you can't get out of, and you're the one who built the bricks around you to lock yourself in.
Yeah. Usually, typically, people build their own personal prisons.
Like the saying goes, everybody builds their own personal hell.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So, and like I said, it's just like I said, and I don't like to keep going back to it because I try not to talk about it that much anymore. But just looking at the concepts in the manosphere and just society as a whole, everybody's so wrapped up in pride with standards. This, you need to have this. I can't do this. You can't go here because I said we all know the manosphere. We all know you know. I don't need to be specific.
Or other pointless stuff, but anyways.
Yeah. It's all pride. It's all pride, and it's pride from who can out talk the other one, who can have more standards. It's pride for who got more subscribers. I mean, it's just dumb. It's dumb because at the end of the day, pride will not. That kind of pride, guaranteed, it won't last forever. It just won't. It's not meant to.
I'll say this right here too, because also you see the naivety with them.
Yeah.
Too, when they speak. And no, Swift, there will be no Vegeta slander in here. That is terrible Toriyama writing. Terrible Toriyama writing. That's the reason why Teen Gohan went to crap afterwards. It's Toriyama and that terrible writing. No Vegeta slander.
Hey, Seeking My Creator. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, exactly. Seeking My Creator. Yeah, that Skittle Pride was worse. Yes, it was.
Yeah. And like I said, it's just one of those things that it's folly. You know what I mean? It's just folly, and it's dangerous for everybody, but it's most especially dangerous for men. I mean, seriously, it's yeah. I mean, that's my take on it personally.
And look, we are not doing that, Swift. Vegeta was a good father and family man. He was there for his kids. We are not talking bad about him. Now you can slander that Pookie Goku, but we ain't doing Vegeta slander. He never raised his kids.
Yeah, but but yeah, it's just interesting watching it go down because again, where scripture is concerned, and especially prophecy, if we think it's bad now, don't forget, prophecy says that people's love will wax cold. So you're going to see
Yeah.
even more of that. We're going to be seeing more of it, and it's going to get worse. And that's
The
why.
Sigma. Oh my
I'm
bad.
sorry. No, you go first.
I,
You go first.
I was gonna say Sigma brings up a point here. The only problem I see with pride is when you allow others to control that emotion, and you do see a lot of people who they allow others to control their prideful emotion.
Well, that's because it's easy. I mean, look. The three emotions that are easiest to manipulate are always going to be love, hate, and pride. Always.
Mm, mm.
Those. I mean, out of all the emotions, those three have always been the easiest to manipulate and control somebody when they're going through it. They just are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you
And
can't you
and and
can't get to the hate without love.
well, and
You
well, and
can't.
what the funny part about it is that you can't, the love and the hate thing being connected, but pride actually is a foundation of both of those. So they're all tied together.
Yeah, I agree. They are.
So, but like I said, it's interesting to watch, and like I said, we haven't even seen the worst of it yet.
And no, Swift, he did not let Bobbity control it. He only did it to get more power, and then he turned on Bobbity now. So no, we're not doing that.
hmm
But
But yeah, but like I said, and like I said, there's levels to the pride. You know,
yes, there are. Agreed.
the pride of young women in their beauty. The pride of men who've become accomplished. I mean, it's just all types and all levels. I mean, it just is. And
Agreed.
even the more, and like I said, that pride is generally attached to love, and
Mm,
that's why
mm,
the, and
mm.
that's why and that's
And,
why the most high is not. That's why the most high doesn't like it. Because if
and you
because
know
because
what?
if your pride is so much into that new Lamborghini you got, that pride that pride slowly, if not quickly, or if it was already there, falls into love for that. And now you put that above what you're supposed to be doing for the creator or your love for him. So I mean they're
And
tied. There's no question to it.
and let's and let's since you went there with the whole love aspect,
Hmm
um, there's also different kinds of love. Now, the
Oh, of
most
course.
basic form of love, but human beings hardly ever practice it, is just wanting the best for others. It's the most basic form of it, but human beings
Yeah.
hardly ever, human beings hardly ever, um, they hardly ever practice it, and they're hardly ever in that mode. Usually, the love that people are, it's usually obsession.
Yeah. 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 That's fair. That's fair. Obsession or lust. Yeah. Take it. Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
and those two run together to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obsession
Yeah.
and
Well,
lust.
yeah. 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 They're definitely related. I don't know. I don't know if I don't think I agree with that. Seeking my creator.
Which one? Oh wait, hold on, my
Uh,
bad.
at the bottom.
It was
Yeah.
greed
Well,
combined with pride.
yeah. I think,
Um,
I think, I think greed is something different. I think greed has a tendency to line more often than not with jealousy as opposed to pride.
I could agree with that. I could agree with that. They
So,
do seem to run together. Yeah,
yeah. Because
I could agree with that.
the greed comes into play is because you're trying to chase after something somebody else has,
Right. Or
or
keep it
trying to
away from
put on.
somebody else.
Right, or trying to be something. Um, now
To be
you know
someone
what?
else.
Yeah, to be someone else. Now there is one instance. I might give a little caveat. if it's never been done before and you're the first person to do it, I think there is a certain amount of pride in that because you're trying to prove to everybody that you're the best of the best and nobody else can do this but you. That is pride. I got to give them that. But if we're just talking about basic standard greed, I think it falls more in line with jealousy. And like I said, I could be wrong. That's just my thought process on it.
No, I can kind of see how they link up more so, especially since you're hardly ever going to be the first one to do something that nobody's ever done before.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
pretty improbable.
yeah. That's fair. That's fair. And like I said, even if I was like duplicating something someone else did before, it's one of those things. Like I said, the pride doesn't come from what you accomplish. The pride should come from the fact that the Most High was with you on that journey and helped you get there. If not did all the heavy lifting himself. Because I don't,
Mhm.
I myself personally, I don't care how hard I work. I don't care how much I do. I don't care how much I accomplish. I know there, but for the grace of the Most High, it would not exist if He didn't do that heavy lifting. You know what I'm saying? Especially being His chosen people. They always out to do us wrong. And like I said, I can't take on racism or a nation. So I know I'm being protected by Him. There's no question to
And
that.
and I would say that the chosen people they have to do themselves wrong based
Well,
on the track record.
I mean, unfortunately, that's true. But again,
Yeah.
at the same time, and we've all said this, me and you,
Hmm.
everybody in the chat, anybody who's listening, we've all said this. We've been in many chats and panels together. There's nothing new under the sun.
Hmm.
They've been doing this since not they, we have been doing this since Adam. So it's not surprising. It's not surprising that the prophecies speak very, very, very specifically of only a small percentage of people making it. You
Yeah,
know,
I have to agree.
how many times, how many times did A Bronsberg, um, how many times did he save them and then they would turn around and worship Baal? Yeah,
Or
I
someone
count.
else.
Yeah, exactly. I count at least two with that. We got Amalek. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah. It
and
does.
if you can't remember the exact names, you can at least the nations. They picked up bad habits from the Assyrians,
Ammonites.
the
Uh,
Ammonites, the Persians. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
The Hittites, yada yada yada.
Canaanites.
Yeah,
Whoever, man. So many. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
And
and there's a reason he called us a stiff-necked people,
yes, the
and
Greeks is
and
like
and
that.
and and we're seeing it right now. Because not to be funny, but think about what all of us are sitting here talking about and chatting about. For all intents and purposes, we're literally Isaiah watching our people just act a fool. We're
Mm,
literally in the position of Isaiah, Elijah, whatever. I'm not saying we're prophets, but I'm just saying
yeah.
we're that outside group looking in, watching our people play the part of madness, just the same way they had to do it. So yeah, it's crazy. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, Bronze Bird. I'm back with one today. And changes at work, so a different schedule. So I was gonna see what day I would do one, and I did one today. It feels good to be back to have one again. I won't. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna do them all the time, but hey, when something hits me and makes me ponder and think deeply, over some things, and I'll kind of I'll definitely do these.
Yeah, actually, that was going to be my next question to you. Because generally when you do a show, something's
Mhm.
happened that prompted it. So I was going to ask what happened this time.
You know what? I'm really not sure.
Oh,
I
okay.
just, but I can't remember. Maybe it was I don't know if there was any one thing, and then for some reason it just kind of hit. Maybe. But
Hmm.
I was at work whenever it happened.
Well, that's what I was wondering because usually something's happened at work and it's usually an old dude. So that's why I
Oh,
was
no, a
asking.
lot of times I ain't gonna lie, it's not at work, it's somewhere else where it's old
Oh, okay.
dudes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Swift. Yeah. That's a crazy story. But here's the thing about that. A lot of people think um that after that happened, that was the most high punishing him. But my thought is, hey J Lock, um, my thought is this: the Most High didn't take him until after he got right, which to me, in my mind, is not a punishment. It was the Most High saying, "Okay, you did right by me. Come on, let's go." Because if he was really mad at him for blaspheming him, he would have taken him right then and there on the spot. But he let him live long enough to correct himself and get it right before taking him. Does that make sense? It's a weird way of looking at it, but it might be weird. But hey, we seen him do worse instantaneously. I mean,
Hey, well, that's another thing too. You kind of have to be able to think outside of the box, outside of what the way things are normally seen and viewed. When I mean, when you've been given a mind to be able to do so and see how things can, how the puzzles, how the pieces can kind of fit together for that puzzle.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, as his people, we're built for it. It's just the vast majority of us refuse to use it. that's
Ah,
that.
I
That's
don't
what.
know. I'm gonna be honest.
No, I
I'm
tell you
not gonna
why.
say
I tell
all.
you. I tell you why. I tell you why. I tell you why. He built us to be this way, but the vast majority won't do it. That is why when we come here, or we go to Sigma, or we go to Eisen, or we go to Zero, or whoever's channel we go to, it's always the same people showing up. Because it's
That's why I
because it's
was gonna.
because it's a very few who can figure it out now.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't think we're all built to be able to think that way. I really everything I read and see to me says that there's only a few that are.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well, Swift. Yes, you're correct. You're absolutely correct. Which actually leads into the point I was trying to make. Um, about that the Most High gave him time to get it together. So before taking them, and during that time of getting them together, that's when he was using them as an example for Israel, and him telling them about him before his death. So yeah, and I like it because it's a story of redemption. It you know what I mean? It's that scenario where it's never too late to get it right. You know, unless I'm misinterpreting what you're saying, but you're
No,
absolutely right on how that breaks down. You're absolutely
I
right on how
think
that breaks
I
down.
think y'all got it now.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, like I said, it's I don't know, man. All I can say is I'm happy he found me. That's all
hey,
that's, that's all I can say. That's all I can
nothing
say.
wrong. Nothing
Cause
wrong with
like
that.
yeah, because people be looking at me, oh, so you found God. I didn't find nothing. He found me. You know what I mean? He came to me. I'm thankful for it every day. As goofy as I get sometimes, sometimes I go into that old man mentality and I start sounding like grandpa, but I don't care. I don't care, man. I all I know is he came for me and I didn't turn away. I'm
I was just getting ready to say, but even though it's still up to you whether you want to or choose to or not.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And to be fair, just like the story Swift was talking about, I didn't blaspheme, but keeping it real, I turned and walked away a couple of times. I'm not even gonna lie about it.
It's probably everyone. It's
That would
probably
be
a lot
yeah,
of people.
yeah, that would be
Probably
fair.
everyone.
That would be fair. And it's sad too because when I was younger, I had it. I really did. I had it. You couldn't take him from me. No ifs, ands, or buts. But as I got older and got into the world, as usual, I start buying into the propaganda of what the world was telling me, as opposed to what he was telling me. So so in that respect, I agree with you. I think we all go through that.
Yeah,
It's just one of those things where how long and how old are you before you realize and come back? Because like he said, he chose us from the beginning of the world. So we were always his. We just had to figure it out.
it's whether you choose.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, it's the classic can't take, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink kind of thing.
Right. Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
So,
But I wasn't gonna make this too long. I
oh,
want to
I'm
keep this.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
No, you
just
good.
babbling.
No, you fine. No, this happens.
Okay.
But I do got some more stuff to do, and then to get ready for work in the morning. But it's a pleasure to be back. It's a pleasure to have everyone here, tuning in and checking this out. I really enjoy it. Um, if you haven't, hit that like button before you get out of here. If you're listening later, hit that like button coming on the way in. But hey, we really appreciate this, and we enjoy having these conversations. What's going on, Aori? What's going on, bro?
Yuri. My brother,
What's
my
going
brother.
on?
What's good? What's good, Yuri?
Yeah, but
Hey,
hey, it's all right. Better later than never.
yeah, yeah.
But hey, we are about to get out of here. Any last thoughts before you go, bro? Oh, and thanks, girls,
Um,
for coming up.
oh yeah, yeah. Thanks, girls. Just the basics, man. Be good. Stay safe, and uh, may the Most High bless all of you. And Shabbat Shalom.
Well, all right. Well, um, and you know me, hey, just anything we said here, hey, any way that you can use it and apply it, you feel that you see that you can use and apply it, do it. All of this is, to help you help make yourself better if you want to. But if you don't, hey, that's on you too. But hey, that's all I got. Be easy and don't be a hospital gown, nigga. Peace.